African Americans had a big chance over the last 5 decades, but I think we frittered a lot of it away by selecting leadership that is unaggressive, passive, and lacking in cojones. The window of opportunity is swiftly closing, where you've got the scantily clad women in the background bouncing around, gyrating sexually. It's not a sexual fantasy, because if you look at the mothers, the aunts, the grandmothers, and the girlfriends thereof, they look just like what you see on the video, but that's what the kids are surrounded by, but they just don't look as good. He said, "Old Prince, you can vest the worst oppressions upon your subjects and they will tolerate it readily if you give them a chance, however slight, of becoming part of the oppressing classes."
What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Vick Reacts, bumming at you with a brand new video. Hey man, today we got a banger, man. Today we got Judge O'Brown again, speaking on Young Thug and all the other black men, how we not doing what we gotta do, and be the reason why everything the way it is right now. You know, at the end of the day, I feel the same. If y'all seen that intro at the beginning, y'all gonna see what he say. And if y'all agree, or if y'all like the intro, man, be sure to like the video right now. Because if you like the intro, you're gonna like the video. Comment and subscribe for the algorithm. Help me help you, man. Without further ado, let's get back into the video, man. Peace.
You made a comment that this last jail stint that you did, you compared it to a slave warehouse.
Yeah, that's what a jail is. It's a slave warehouse.
Okay, explain that.
It's a warehouse for slaves. It's exactly what it is. Most of the people that are inmates down there brought it on themselves. 97.5% of the people in American penitentiaries pled guilty and 85% confessed.
Damn.
Less than 3% of those who are in the jails got found guilty at trial. So most of what's down there is just cannibalistic behavior by people who have inefficient training, lack of training, no education, no goals, no upbringing, no home training. And it's a function of the system now to get rid of surplus labor. Labor is a commodity like wheat, corn, cotton, rye, beef, pork, poultry. And when you get a glut, the prices drop. They don't want a Timothy McVeigh to come up again and blow up another Oklahoma City courthouse, so they do 3 things to control the commodity glut. 1, you cut back production. 2, subsidize the would-be producer. And 3, you store the surplus. In this case, the surplus is in a jail cell instead of a grain silo. The subsidy is the welfare check. And when the kids bang out, drug out, drop out, develop inappropriate attitudes, outlooks, get pregnant too early, too often, and have no education or training, and have nothing that makes them viable for the job market, they soon turn to criminal activity. They get a felony conviction. They can no longer vote, and they're permanently unemployable. So you've taken them out of the job market, so Archie Bunker is not going to get too badly upset because he still has some kind of job, no, not the one that he grew up expecting. So it's a vicious cycle, and we don't have anything in place in this country to address that. We don't even have any legislation in place in the recent decade to put people back to work after what is, in actuality, almost a depression. So it's getting pretty bad, and when the country has a lot of stress, as it does now, guess who's the first to be scapegoated, even if only vicariously?
Right, the poor people.
Poor people, particularly readily identifiable poor people. That's driving that engine that has produced Black Lives Matter. You see, there's stress out there, and some of the things we do puts us in a position where we become easy targets for this kind of thing.
Facts.
So when we start thinking Black Lives Matter, we do those things so that all lives matter, and we get in a better position to take care of our own situation. We've got too many situations like Ferguson, where the old minority is now the majority, but it doesn't realize it, and the old majority doesn't realize it's the minority. and you've got a preponderance of African American people with no African American political involvement. And that's bad. We've got that in Memphis. We've got a situation here where we've got 5 African Americans running for mayor and 1 conservative white, and it looks like he's going to wind up winning. We had a congressional seat that was held by somebody African American, that's the Fords, Harold Sr. and Jr., and then when Jr. ran for U.S. Senator and resigned, we had 14 blacks in the race and 1 white, and he won. So we do it to ourselves by some selfish, egotistical things, too many half-broke African American politicians trying to get elected to positions they aren't really able to handle, and that they're looking at as a source of income supplement, which causes them to become ineffective, or else they've been involved in
something else,
petty venality, and they get blackmailed and controlled. It's bad.
Yeah. It's a similar situation right now. I know this video came out before that, but it's a similar situation in New York right now. You know, the mayor was involved in some other stuff, and now he's getting looked at. And this is the problem, is that we got no problem getting to these roles. You know, if we get smart enough, we could get into these roles. You know, a lot of rappers that get into the roles, we got a lot of money out here. But often when the people get into those positions to get money, when have you ever heard of a white person that became rich through music resort to anything illegal? Can't really name a time. But when you think about the rappers that got rich, most of them resort to drugs after the fact. Hell, Gucci Mane got rich, then went to the streets. Tupac got rich, then went to the streets. All the rappers now, Young Thug, Rich, Hood Rich Part 1. I mean, bro, you could name on and on. Most of these rappers never got locked up in juvie or nothing when they was younger. They got rich, then getting locked up. It don't make no sense. It's like a cycle. Like he said, it's literally a cycle, but it's not even a cycle that we have to go through. It's a mind cycle that they put themselves through. It's crazy.
African Americans had a big chance over the last 5 decades, but I think we frittered a lot of it away by selecting leadership that is unaggressive, passive, and lacking in cojones.
It's a pretty big statement right there.
It is, but it's our thing that we're losing. The window of opportunity is swiftly closing. W.E.B. Du Bois 100 years ago said, the problem of the 21st century, the 20th century was going to be the color line, and the solution was for the top 10% of the race to bootstrap itself and the rest of the race up. But we had that for a number of years, but now those who would bootstrap become those who are pulling us back down because they've got side deals that are selfish.
So you feel that the richest 10% of African Americans have been bought out?
It's not richest 10%. Du Bois was talking about the intelligentsia, the intellectual, those who learned and who understood. Too often what's happened now is they're just about their careers and not about their social and political and cultural obligations, which they don't see as that now.
This is definitely true on the hip hop side of things, because this is one of the things that we talked about a lot. When you remember the 90s, you had not only Tupac, but you had a lot of people like Public Enemy and Paris and Poor Righteous Teachers, and there was a definite political piece of hip hop which was the mainstream. Whereas when you look at hip hop today, you don't see very much of that. You see little spatterings here and there, but there's no strong artist who's actually pushing the political agenda in hip hop at all.
Well, no, there's not. And one of the problems that some of them tell me is that the consumer just doesn't want to buy that kind of thing. Now, even Tupac, Biggie Smalls, and all of that, their political statements were very small. And there is a problem with current rap in that it is popular because masculinity has been so downplayed in this country and in the Western world that the male youth look for anything that looks masculine. And you get what looks to be overt masculinity, say in gangsta, hip hop, rap video, but it's not. It's reflective of, let's take a kid with true street cred. He's 17, his mama is 29 or 30, and his grandmother is 43, and in a hot July situation, you find them with booty shorts on and a knit halter and everything, hanging out with a 40 ounce in one hand and a smoke in the other. And that's their vision of adulthood. They get taught from day one that they're supposed to find somebody of the opposite sex to take care of them and exploit. And it's, yo, man, like I got 4 ladies take good care of me. 2 got a JOB, 1 get a crazy check, and the other one get a AFDC. They takes care of me. And it's not a masculine orientation about being the protector, the director, the person responsible for order, economy, and safety in the community. It's something else. And some women, for example, not all, but they talk about this sexual fantasy, male dominance that's in rap video, where you've got the scantily clad women in the background bouncing around, gyrating sexually. It's not a sexual fantasy, because if you look at the mothers, the aunts, the grandmothers, and the girlfriends thereof, they look just like what you see on the video, but that's what the kids are surrounded by, but they just don't look as good. So that's their June Cleaver image rather than their sexual fantasy image.
Facts.
And it also says a whole lot psychologically about what's going on in somebody's head when that's the case. I don't want to get into it now, but it's complex.
I get what you're saying.
But
it's basically a play on your mind. You know, when you starting to when things are getting normalized that was never normalized back then, it start to change your mind. Like growing up, we used to never see females walking around in booty shorts, OC like that. We used to never see even titties out. Never. Like now they having titties out, but they covering the nipples with a star or something. That's cool. Like, bro, wait. When I first seen a female naked, it was my first female I ever seen naked. These dudes done seen females naked at 6. Like, it's just different time now, bro. And it's scary, because if that's something that's becoming normalized, y'all ever think about like how did Diddy get so weird? How did Diddy get so weird? Because he been having everything he wanted. He been seeing naked bitches for his whole life. So of course, at some point in time, it's going to get old, because he's doing it so much. That's why it's best to really just settle down when you get rich. Because if you don't, and you just keep on going new, you'll get tired. And you going to keep on investing into that next stage. But I was bringing that up because when you start to get normalized on seeing bitches naked so much, or seeing this so much, or seeing this so much, you become desensitized to it. You're no longer sensitive to it. That's like growing up in a situation where every day you see, you hear gunshots and stuff like that. You start to become used to it. And when you start to become used to it at ages where you're not supposed to be used to it, it's going to make everybody in a whole general aspect not used to it. You know, females used to only have to go to the club and dress like that. Now they dressing like that regularly, so the females in the clubs are having to do the most extra, they damn near got to be naked on stage to make money now. So imagine that's where it's at now. So imagine where it's gonna keep going. The more. It's crazy. It's not looking good.
But this society over the last 45 years has done a lot
Negative.
to devalue masculinity.
Yep.
Now, I saw it happening in the late 60s when the Vietnam War was at its height, and people were running around saying man is the reason we have wars, and war is a man thing, so you need to change the way boys are raised to men. Instead of being uptight and under self-control, they need to learn to emote, to shy, to cry, to shout, to let it all hang out. and let their emotions float. Well, we get that, but it's not a good result, and you can see that in the inner city where order has broken down.
That's interesting, because that's one of the things that we actually talk about on Vlad TV. We talk about how there is a feminization of particularly black men that's happening in music right now.
Yeah, it is. Look at them. They got the
for
microphone.
example,
they look like they're trying to perform fellatio on something. This man, take that microphone out your mouth. It looks strange, boy. Hold that thing off at a distance and act like you a man instead of you have. I mean, it's okay, you know. If you want to be gay, go right ahead. But I mean, everybody's not gay, so give us a few masculine images. Look at the commercials. Do you see a masculine looking man on a commercial these days, particularly if they are black? Look at what they've done to action adventure. You see them patting each other on the behinds, kissing each other on the lips. It's like, okay, fine, the gays got their rights to do what they want to do, but let's have some masculine imagery here.
Yeah, facts.
You see, it's not there. It's been taken away. And when you have a mass media thing, that's what the youth look to guide themselves. White kids used to look at John Wayne and Clint Eastwood, and we'd look at our corresponding folk, but nowadays, you know, they're all simpering and walking around fluttering and everything, and you don't see anything to the contrary. Let's let the pendulum swing back to being neutral. How about some of each, you know?
Well, a few years ago, Kanye West did a concert where he wore a skirt, which kind of like a kilt. And that was considered a big deal in the community. But fast forward to 2015, one of the biggest artists out there is Young Thug, who in an interview recently said that 90% of his clothing is women's clothing. And he's been known to wear dresses and skirts and, you know, stuff like that.
Why don't he just come on out the closet? It's the 21st century. They ain't gonna hurt him. Be honest about it. These women are worried about down low people right now. They don't want to catch anything. Not saying that there is a cornering of the market on catching something that way, but just come on out. What Caitlyn did it.
Yeah.
You know, be real.
Most people that come out are celebrated, if you look at it.
I know. Now, how about celebrating somebody who did a manly thing, you know?
No, thanks.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's
it's
crazy.
it's a different place. But it's interesting how you said how it was started after the Vietnam War in terms of blaming males for the wars and altering the way that they were raised. Do you feel that's the actual start of it?
They had unisex children's clothing, unisex child rearing, no playing with cap guns, water pistols, no cowboys and Indians, no soldier games. Boys and girls wore the same kind of hair. I remember you could go to a picnic, a business would give or a church would give, and you could be looking straight ahead and you could hear kids behind you. You could tell the girls and boys because the girls screamed and the boys yelled. Now you go someplace you can't tell because boys and girls are all screaming in a shrill fashion.
Oh God, and not only that, but I forgot what I was gonna say, but like, damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Hope it come back.
Boys are pampered. We're apex predators. Our job is to be expendable and protect the resources, women and children, but we don't look at it that way now.
Do you feel that there is a certain fear of masculine black men in America?
Yes.
So they try to push a feminine black man so they could deal with him a little easier?
Yo, what? Imagine look, this is the thing that people don't understand, dog. People was complaining that men weren't being men, that men weren't being men, that men weren't being men. Okay, that was just complaining. And at the end of the day, they can't make us be less feminine. They can't make us be not masculine. They can't force us to do this. We had to actually, like, I'm not saying we, because I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't even alive. But I'm saying we as a collective, as a men collective, we as a collective decided to be like, okay, fuck it, yes, let's become less feminine. Let's change the clothes. Like, we producing all of this. Why are we going by what they want? Like, this is crazy that these motherfuckers is really trying to have it to not be a man and female difference. They trying to make the genders whatever gender. They don't even want genders. So like, if we're not going to be classified as men and women no more, are they just trying to classify us as how dark our skin color is? Like, what is going on right now? Do you see how bad the future is looking for us if we just looking at all the scenes that changed so far, which has all been negative? Can we name a good thing that has changed from back then? Because all the stats is down, marriage is down, divorces is up, everything, housing, single parent households up, everything negative going up, and everything positive is going down.
Nastiest letter I ever got in my life was November 14th, 1998. I had the show, and 23 women, lesbians, that's the way they characterize themselves, said they were offended at having to work with a straight black male when there were so many nice homosexual men to work with. They...
Like, you're not even supposed to be working here. Like, bro, you working in my field. Bro, imagine me. I'm gonna put it into this aspect like this. Imagine me coming into your house, telling you how to run your house. And you like, yeah, bro, bet. Come on, bro.
Objected to
We just let females
the
tell us what to
idea
do.
that I had
Okay.
bass in my voice. I was stern. They said it was just unacceptable that I was polite and opened doors for the ladies. They thought that was just hideous. So, I mean, I'm not going to stop opening doors because I'm a man. I'm not going to stop stepping forward in response to a woman who's in trouble or in distress. That's why I got the 5-day sentence down at juvenile court. But I'm a man. But some people don't like that.
So what ultimately happened?
Well, what happened was they got called in by human resources, and they got the opportunity to attend a week's worth of classes in federal equal employment opportunity law because they were discriminating against me. And I was the star of the show. But see, if we're going to play this game of equality, it goes both ways. There's fundamental fairness. And
Like, and it's not going both ways, and it's not going both ways at all in any aspect, because we have became, as men, we have definitely became less masculine. This is obvious, bro. You could barely even whoop your kids now. That is a masculine thing to do. So, the fact that they demasculating everything, and we decided to, yeah, let's do it, but we not getting nothing in a trade-off. They're becoming more masculine. Literally. I'm talking about, I'm serious, because growing up, bro, we never played with females. I mean, bro, we was damaging them. But now you look at recess, bro, you got the females running with the boys. I'm telling you, when we was growing up, they used to literally have us running. The boys running by themselves, the girls running by themselves. They couldn't keep up with us nowhere close. They actually got girls growing up right now competing with boys. They got girls in football sports for real. I wish that shit would have happened back then. I would have been crying on. This is crazy to me.
you know, we've got this thing in America right now. There are 5 things that are holding us back. 2,000 years ago, Julius Caesar said, give them bread and circuses, or feed them and entertain them, and the mob won't care what happens. Well, people look like they're getting fed pretty well, and there are all kinds of entertainments, whether you're looking at Tyler Perry and Housewives and this stuff, or you're a guy sitting in front of a TV set all day long every day of the weekend watching NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball or something, and you aren't privy to what's going on around you. Then you've got what Hitler said, Goebbels actually, his propaganda minister, and that was tell a lie long enough and loud enough and you can get anybody to believe it. And then Lincoln came in there with a truth, and it was you can fool most of the people most of the time, some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. And we have to rely on his caveat, the last part of it. And then Machiavelli spoke another truth about 500 years ago. So you see people with 4 teeth missing in the front of their mouth and obviously sick, 73 years old, talking about the evils of creeping socialism and subsidized medicine. You know, they think they're going to become millionaires and win the lottery in the next 4 months. And then you've got this other thing, the fifth element that comes in, where people are encouraged to be irresponsible because it's fun. Everything is supposed to be about fun, enjoyment. Nobody's supposed to be made to feel guilty.
Facts.
Nobody has any obligations except to whatever makes you feel good.
Facts.
Which is a wrong thing. So those 5 elements.
Because the stuff that makes you feel good usually ain't the things that you need, man. Facts.
Crept in, and they have disrupted this society, which is no longer one driven by principle, obligation, honor, accountability, duty, and such like, but just, I want to feel good. Even the military is getting it wrong. Be all you can be is not correct. It should be all you should be. You know, your obligations stand in there. We've gotten away from it. I remember when I was a kid, you'd always hear, act like a man, act like a young lady. You have an obligation. Stand
I
up.
heard that too, man. Yeah. That wasn't too long ago where they stopped saying that shit. They probably don't say that shit no more, but even growing up, I used to hear that shit.
What's right. Be counted. And nowadays, you don't hear that at all. You've got this thing right now where parents, teachers, faculty, and the police are supposed to stop bullies. So they want to send 8-year-olds to juvenile courts.
You know that it's crazy because bullying really what made a lot of people who they were today. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, these was dudes who used to get bullied in school. That's the only reason why where they at in life right now, because they got bullied. Like, imagine stopping a pivotal point in somebody growing up facing adversity. That is a major aspect in becoming who you are as a person. And they just taking this away. They taking every opportunity for you to become who you're supposed to be as a man away from you. Crazy world.
And if a child stands up to a bully, everybody gets thrown out. And that's not the way the world was designed to work. Take a look at...
You gotta conquer the bullies, nigga. You gotta go through it to be able to conquer it. You conquer it, you live a better life. If you don't never conquer it, you always gonna be in that shell and you gonna turn reserved. But that's a minimum amount that do that.
Never see it again.
And if you do happen to do that, you just not made for it. You just not made for it. It's simple as that. Everybody that's made for it gonna eat every adversity up. Like, imagine not ever being bullied through your whole life at school, never being in a cool group. You could just be in a weird group and everybody cool with being weird. And now you growing up not knowing that you growing up weird, thinking that's cool because ain't nobody telling you that ain't cool because, oh, we don't want to bully these people. Oh, and we want them to be have emotions. So if we say something to them, they're just gonna start crying and being mad and upset. Oh, now they don't want to listen to their mothers and their fathers because they rather listen to their homeboys and their friends. Crazy.
Old movie, or not so old movie, Back to the Future. McFly. Their first go around, he's a punk, he's bullied by the high school bully, and he's a flunky. His son goes back in time, coaxes him to stand up, and he knocks his bully out. And when the boy gets back to the present, then guess what? The bully's working for dad, and dad's the boss.
I'm telling you.
Different guys
That's how I
than
be
the
doing.
one that never stood up to the bully.
totally different.
So
totally, you got to go
those
through
are the
adversity
things
and
that
win.
are inconvenient truths about reality. We don't like to deal with it.
But it's
Of
true.
course,
and
we
it's
have
needed.
so little man training in our neighborhoods that kids pop caps on each other instead of dealing with the manly art of self-defense and going toe-to-toe and somebody get a behind whooping, but shaking hands and going and moving on.
Facts. That's respect. I can't respect you after you do this to me, bro. But if we get up in there, even if you win or I win, I can still respect you because at least you got in that blend with me. And you a man for getting in the blend with somebody. You a man, bro. At the end of the day, nigga gonna respect you regardless. Win or not. You get a punch, I get a punch, shake it up. We could probably be best friends after that because like, okay, nigga, it's cool. You stood up for yourself. You ain't no bitch head nigga. You know what I'm saying?
You see, we're totally out of whack.
We totally out of whack, bro.
Now.
Shit sad. That shit sad as hell, bro. We totally, like, we not even close to being the same kind of people we were. Imagine getting whooped and feeling like, oh, I'm so hurt. I gotta go get a strap. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Back in the day, a motherfucker get hurt, get beat up in too many fights. They want to go take boxing out. Now all of a sudden, damn, that nigga done turned into a heavyweight champ in the amateur league. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you gotta go through adversity. You gotta go through adversity, then you gotta complete it, and you gotta go through it to even understand and to keep going and keep thriving in life. If you don't never go through adversity in life, if your whole life easy, once you get a little bit of L's, once you take a little bit of adversity, once you feel some type of disdain towards you, you lose automatically and you lose all your confidence. That's not how life goes. All throughout your life, you gotta be taking L's, bro. To even be comfortable taking L's when you get older. Because L is something that's inevitable. It's going to come. It depends on how you handle it. And if you already facing L's through your whole life, guess how you going to handle it when a big L come through? Eat it up. And keep going. That's how it be, man. But I ain't going to lie, though. If y'all enjoyed this video, man, be sure to click this video right here because you going to fuck with that one, too, if you fuck with this one, man. If not, I got 2 more options right here. Be sure to click one, though. Subscribe right here before you click out. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Contact me if you want to holler at me, man. It's been your boy, Vick. I appreciate you for tuning in. Peace.